How's it going, guys? Today I wanted to talk about a possible rework that we could see with the inevitable greenskin rework that's going to be coming up soon, hopefully. I wanted to talk about Karak Eight Peaks and the whole race for Skarsnik, Belegar, and Queek. The mechanics and what differences that would be cool to see just for some quality of life changes and to make those campaigns even more fun because those are probably one of the three of the most interesting campaigns to play. So first off, I wanted to definitely talk about getting Queek more involved within the race. Ever since he was added to the game, his mechanics with Karak Eight Peaks kind of seemed pretty dull compared to Skarsnik and Belegar. You have Belegar, who has a 40% upkeep reduction increase for his troops. And then you have Skarsnik, who's only able to recruit goblin units until he gets to Karak Eight Peaks. And then you have Queek, whose debuff is -2 public order. Now that seems pretty easy from a gameplay standpoint, and he's also rated as a very hard difficulty on the faction selection screen. So it would definitely be cool to see him get a better debuff, maybe an upkeep to Storm Vermin or other units within the Skaven roster for sure. So definitely get him more involved. Up to the second point, so in the lore, Karak Eight Peaks is gigantic. It's a huge settlement. There's multiple layers, there's multiple different causeways that you can see in the pictures. It would be cool to maybe have Karak Eight Peaks be its own province. Maybe have 3 settlements within one. I know that kind of sounds confusing, but maybe 3 different peaks where each one is a settlement would be cool. But at the same time, Queek having a Undercity kind of gets that point across. So it would be cool. I think just keep it as one settlement, but then also give a cool little nod to like the different layers of the city would be, of course, to have Queek have his Undercity. But at the same time, I think Skarsnik should be able to have an Undercity, only in Karak Eight Peaks, not anywhere else. But I think he should start with an Undercity. Maybe even Belegar. I know it sounds kind of weird, but that in the lore, Karak Eight Peaks is gigantic, so I think it would be cool to show that by having the 3 of them have some sort of presence there, and not just have the Mutinous Gits be the only presence that's there. I think that would be very important, and I think it would definitely add a different flavor to those campaigns. It would be very cool. Definitely, at least for Skarsnik. I know Belegar doesn't seem it would make sense, but I think for sure, if you had Skarsnik able to have a presence there, it would be cool. Not any corruption or anything like that, just so he could have vision, maybe some bonus buildings or whatnot. And then once he does capture it, I think that would just go away at that point. Or maybe he keeps it for like an extra building slot. But I think that would be cool to definitely show that. Up to the third point I would like to see is when played as the AI, I think Skarsnik should start in Karak Eight Peaks in the beginning of a campaign. So an example of this would be if you started an Empire campaign or a Dark Elf campaign. Skarsnik would already start at Karak Eight Peaks. He doesn't start at the starting location he starts at when played as the player. I talked about this on Reddit a lot with fellow Redditors, and I think that Skarsnik doesn't really last that long the way the campaign is now, where he starts. He kind of gets destroyed either by Karl Franz or even Karak Norn sometimes beats him out. So I think this would be a good idea on that end. If you brought him to the Badlands, brought him to Karak Eight Peaks, I think especially since they might move Azag, which they will move Azag there. Not to Karak Eight Peaks, but they'll move him somewhere else, hopefully Troll Country, where he is in the lore. But I think this would help with the Order Tide too. So I think if you have the combined forces of Grimgor and Skarsnik running amok down in the Badlands, I think that would help suppress the dwarf, the blue tide, as people call it. It would definitely add a more difficult campaign for them too, if you wanted to play as the dwarves. So I think that would be a nice nod. Plus, just from a gameplay like perspective, you go, say you play as Grimgore, you kind of want to see Skarsnik at Karak 8 Peaks. You don't want to deal with the mutinous skits. The mutinous skits seem like they're more of a placeholder faction for sure. So I think it would be cool if you play as the AI. Skarsnik should start there, and I think that would definitely be a cool mechanic to see. And then brings us to number 4. When you play as Skarsnik, I think that either Belegar or Queek, they should start at Karak 8 Peaks. People will probably say why. That kind of sounds weird, but I think that definitely adds a different flavor to the campaign. Instead of like an orc on orc battle, when you finally get to Karak 8 Peaks, it would definitely be more intriguing to see Skarsnik go up against Belegar or Queek even. Because yeah, you'll probably meet Belegar early on in the campaign, the way it is now, but after that you kind of, there's nothing really going on after that. So it would definitely be cool to see either Queek or Belegar be the one that has the Karak 8 Peaks, and then they send forces out towards you to delay your advances, kind of like what the Mutinous Skits do now. But it would definitely be cool if they were to do that and get rid of the Mutinous Skits altogether, because I think honestly they're more of a placeholder faction, and I think it would definitely be cooler if Queek or Belegar was more involved on the AI side of it for sure. Because really, it's not really a race if you think about it. Like Belegar doesn't really do much to capture Karak 8 Peaks when played as the AI. Neither does Queek. So I think a way to manipulate that would to be have Belegar take over, like have the story change. So Skarsnik's off hunting squigs, but then Belegar takes over Karak 8 Peaks. So then Skarsnik has to go back and capture it again, similar to Queek. Oh, Queek took over Karak 8 Peaks. I don't know, anything like that. And then for the final, I definitely thought when Total War Warhammer 2 launched, I definitely thought that this was definitely going to be incorporated into their campaign, but it never was. I think that they should put free-for-all battle, like a free-for-all battle, a final free-for-all battle in their campaign between Queek, Belegar, and Skarsnik as like the final battle of their campaign, or maybe have that be the battle you need to win to take over Karak 8 Peaks. Because right now, the way sieges are, especially, are like it's kind of a dull battle. Because you're really kind of just you either cheese it by just throwing rock throwers at what are they called? I think rock throwers, the catapults that they have. Because you can't get the Doom Diver catapult until you get a high enough level capital. But so I think a free for all battle, especially since there's none incorporated into the campaign yet, I think that would be an awesome addition, even if it's just for like a mission. I think also, once you have Karak 8 Peaks, I think there should be like an event, or like similar to like how if you play as the Empire, you have different events pop up, like, oh, Nordland needs your help. Norscan invaders are off to the northern coast. Can you send a force up north? And then you usually do, and there's not a quest battle, but already like a determined battle that pops up that gives you troops, and then you have to win against a certain army. I think what would be cool is if you played as Belegar, say you have you have Karak 8 Peaks. I think once in a while an event should pop up, and then it would be cool, like, oh, Skarsnik's gonna invade Karak 8 Peaks, you have to defend the city, and then you defend the city. Because I mean, people will say, "Oh, well, that could happen in campaign already." But when is maybe like 1 in 100 times will you have Karak 8 Peaks and you'll have Skarsnik try to take it over when you play as Belegar, because Skarsnik's probably long dead by then. Even Queek too. I mean, Queek is in more of that vicinity than Skarsnik is, but it would definitely be more in depth. Is the word? No, it would definitely be more immersive for that to take place, and it would just add more flavor, because I know a lot of people play as the Empire and they can't get away from the Empire campaign because it is very fun. There's a lot of mechanics going on, and it definitely makes it less boring, especially towards like the middle end of the campaign, like where you start to steamroll. At least it'll add some different challenges, Because right now the Chaos campaign isn't doing, the Chaos invasion really isn't doing its job. Hopefully they buff that. I will try to have a rework video on that too, because I do have some ideas. But this has been the video for the free Karak 8 Peaks rework. Hopefully coming in the greenskin rework, whenever that comes, hopefully in May. But this has been the video. If you guys liked the video, please think about subscribing. It does help me out a lot. And also, I will have sneak peek footage or early access footage of the next DLC when it is coming out. And we might do like a Let's Play campaign or something. And if there are any of these reworks for Karak 8 Peaks, I would definitely do a Let's Play campaign with those reworks to show them off, because that would be pretty fun. So if you guys liked the video, please give it a like. Stay safe in these trying times. I know the coronavirus is all over the place. So stay safe and have a good day. Alright guys? See ya.